But another way, which sounds very different and is speaking exactly the same thing, is that all that is necessary is the desire to be out of the dream. The thing that is confusing is that the character that has been identified as you, that character will never be ready. That character exists in the dream. It is only possible to discover this for the dream that it is when there is the beginning of the hunger to truly be free of it. When it is driven by a desire to get away from pain, that is coming from the character in the dream. When it is driven by a desire to get enlightenment, that is coming from the character in the dream. Both of those are vehicles. Because what is different in this particular desire from other desires is that it gives forth the willingness to stop. It is the speed on which the life is run that creates the deception. But eventually the recognition is that all that is necessary is the willingness to be out of the dream. The thing about this dream is that it has a very clear system, regardless of the particulars. This idea of becoming free seems very amorphous, confusing, ambiguous, until there is the true hunger. When there is the true hunger, that sense of confusion, elusiveness, is blown apart, and what is revealed is something very clear-cut. When the hunger to be out of the dream has a greater force than the habit of being enamored by the dream, then in the context of the dream itself, because it is your reflection, because it is your dream, inside the parameters of the dream will be shown the way. Not because of some situation, some teacher. It's all your dream. It is all reflective. It happens when the readiness is true, not when it is being driven by the character's desire to get away from pain, which is all in the dream, or the character's desire to become enlightened, which is all in the dream. And both of these are necessary in most cases, unless one comes in with virtually no karma. Because stopping is in opposition to what has been conditioned. The dream is programmed to survive. Usually it is suffering that drives the search. The willingness to stop. And the stronger this willingness, the clearer the vision, the more frequent the taste, the more there is light shed on what is playing. And the clearer it becomes. As the readiness ripens, the hunger to become freed of this setup It is a setup. The dream is a setup. There must be a conflict, a carrot that the ego is after that it will never get to keep the plot going. The more there is the willingness to stop, the more light infuses the entire dream. The more the taste of love replaces the need to protect, the greater the sense of trust. But the fundamental piece has to remain. There must be a carrot in the package the ego is desiring for what it believes to be its happiness that will always remain elusive. Otherwise, the plot of the ego comes to completion, but it cannot. Now, what last night was called death, which is as accurate a word that can be used, your death, or saying the hunger to be out of the dream, it is saying the same thing. One is speaking from the eyes that see through clarity, and one is speaking through the struggling dynamics of the character in the dream. The story from the character is it takes so long. Time is created in the dream. When you are dreaming at night and there is the experience of time, it has no relationship with anything. It is the creation of your dream. In the creation of this dream, what is it that is outside of it? Everything that is perceived is part of the dream. The lineage, the master, the main problems, the issues with the body, it's all part of the dream. There is nothing outside of it that is perceptive. What is perceived is subject and object. From inside the contraction of the body, the experience is that I, the body, am the subject, and everything out there are the objects. As soon as there is a little work, there is a recognition of something aware of the body, and then the body is the object, and what is aware of the body is the subject. But in order for there to be object and subject, there has to be distance. The object has to be away from what is aware of it, meaning that any object in conscious awareness cannot be you if it is perceived, because it is away from you. What is away from you has to traverse distance. It takes time to traverse distance. Anything perceived, as soon as it is perceived, the truth is it's already finished because it takes time to travel distance. What is not away from you does not travel. It is not in time. It is not in the past. It is called the eternal now. The eternal now is not a dream. It is not changing. There are not characters doing different things. It is the feeling of now. The thing about it is that while it does not change, the more the ego construct of the character is unraveled, the more the taste of the beauty of what it is revealed. The dream is not a mistake. It is your reflection, just like at night. When you are ready to receive the reflection that is offered, instead of identifying with the character who is always trying to fix or change something, then what happens is the nature of the dream is recognized as the offering to dismantle what created the sense of being separate. As that dismantles, what is called the now begins coming to life, because the shell that caused all the numbness begins to melt away. What is discovered is how can anything be wrong when it's all your dream, and the role of the dream is to bring light to what could not be seen. And the eventual outcome is the very clear recognition of what is going on. Once there is clear recognition of what is going on, that clear recognition is coming from what is free of the dream. Once this happens, the taste is revealed in a way that its beauty so clearly is so much more vast than anything that has ever been tasted in the confines of what is actually discovered to not even exist now. It is a play of past projecting future, bypassing where you live, which is eternally now. When you allow the workings of this play to do what it is meant to do, it will unravel everything, and then the beauty begins to flower, not to someone, but to itself, because the someone in the dream is dissolving. When you are dreaming at night, it is so clear the dream will end. No matter what is going on, the dream will end. This is the same. It is the same. It will end when you are ready. When you are ready, it is more important to be free of the dream than the character's desires and fears to keep away what it does not want and to get what it wants. It's very simple. When you are ready, it all becomes clear. When you are ready, you realize the you that is being spoken to is not the character. The character is a representation of an aspect of what has been fragmented. Every character is a representation of what has been fragmented in the psyche. The character that is called the teacher appears because there is an aspect of yourself that hungers to be free. It is all in a dream. It is all your dream. It is all an aspect of you, and it is designed to free itself because all dreams come to an end. So simple. Seems so incredibly difficult inside the nature of the dream. It would have to, in order for the experience of it to be drawn out. You can say, well, what about all those lifetimes? It is all part of the dream. There is nothing outside of it. Nothing that is phenomenal. Nothing that is subject-object. Nothing that is in the past projecting a future. When the hunger to remain where you always have lived, which is only now. You've never lived in the past. You've never lived in the future. That's the dream. When the hunger to live where you live overpowers the sense of being enamored by this dream habit, then it is finished. If it is the character's hunger, if the story is that it is the character's hunger, what that means is the biggest fragmented piece is searching. That in and of itself is the beginning of the end. Who am I? I am your dream. Who is every player? It is all your dream. It is not the theme character's dream. The theme character is just a player in the dream. Can't say Devaji awakened, but that is all happening in your dream. None of it is real. It is real in the context of your dream. The thing of it is, when the readiness is ripe, there is no but. No yes, but. It ceases to be about the future. It ceases to be about the character. It ceases to be about my life. Not for the character. That is the big mistake. But for where you live, which is eternally now. It is quite the game, because this creation, this character, will have the experience of unending conflicts, unending desires. It is not like at some point the character's desires go away. But when you are ready to be freed from the dream, there is the seeing that the character is a creation. It's not about the character's carrot. It's the recognition that the character is the carrot. It is not about the character getting the love or recognition or whatever it wants. It is about becoming free from the hypnosis that you are the character, and then you discover that what the character wants, whatever it may be, is you. You are what the character wants. You are what the character is searching for. And there is the readiness at a certain point to let it all go. And that is the nature of the play of it. It is not confusing. It is not complex.